So I think I've got one more clip and then some other articles, but this next clip's not political, but it's interesting if I'm thinking of the right one that's next.
Apple, Samsung, Xiaomi, and I've got no doubt plenty of others very soon have decided to no longer give you a charger in the box. And every single one of these companies has said, we're doing this to protect the environment. But this got me thinking, is not giving a charger actually better for the environment? Because yes, on the face of it, of course, if everything else stayed the same, then shipping a phone without a charger means you can use a smaller box, and it also means one less plastic brick that might one day end up in a landfill site. And with this logic, you could look at Samsung's new Galaxy S21 Ultra box compared to last year's S20 Ultra box and think, wow, Samsung, you're so eco-conscious, it's half the size, what heroes. But not everything does stay the same. As soon as a company decides that they're not going to send a charger with their phone, it creates knock-on effects. Like, just for starters, I think it's going to mean a lot of people will end up buying their own. Think about it. 1, if you just use your old charger, you're not getting the charging speed that you're paying for. 2,
let's stop 1 second. What he calls knockdown effects are what we libertarians call unintended consequences. And this is very, very interesting. And it reminds me, I remember when I blew the mind of my young nephew when he was still young. God, he's an adult now. But he was very much brainwashed by his school, and he was just a recycling Nazi. And I remember cornering him. He had to be maybe in 1st or 2nd grade. And I said, has it ever occurred to you that the recycling process might harm the environment more than the plastic did? And his mind was blown. Let's continue.
Chargers don't last forever. The third thing that I haven't really seen anyone talk about is that this whole concept of not giving someone a new charger, it rests on their ability to be able to use their old one. But I feel like the way it works in most households is when you buy a new phone, you sell or give away the old phone, including the charger that came with it. So, assuming that at some point within the 3 years or so that you use your new phone, you decide to buy a new charger for it, then straight away we have already used more packaging than the entire box of the last generation. That to send something like a charger on its own, you need a lot of padding. So there's not just the cardboard outside, but a cardboard tray, a second layer of cardboard on the inside, not to mention a plastic anti-static bag. But most significantly, this. Like the fact that a van has to take one extra trip to come drop the item off with me. But also the fact that this means we have to have an entirely separate outer box that takes up even more room in that truck than the entire last phone's retail box.
Okay, I think the point's been made. So you have these corporations saying they're doing something for the environment. And on the face of it, it certainly seems like they are, right? They're reducing their packaging. But they've actually increased the amount of, they're less eco-friendly. While the company themselves might be more, the chain reaction is less. Unintended consequences. And that's going to bring us to some articles that I have. Let me see here. Make sure I don't have any other clips. Nope, we're ready for some articles. So let me put on my glasses and find where I can cue these up. I think the first one I want to go over is this wealth tax that Elizabeth Warren wants. Yep, let's go through here. Now, I know it's going to be kind of small for you to read. I can let you know where it came from in case. I'm just going to go over a few things. I believe it came from Reason. And it was on March 25th, if you're interested. So, the first thing that I noticed in this article where it talks about the Democratic Party's various factions, it's not just the Democratic Party, it's the People's Party, as you guys know I've been harping on. But the way it's characterized is the factions are both, one wants to raise taxes and the other just wants to raise taxes more. And that sucks for us. But here is where I wanted to tie it into the unintended consequences. It says, it first says that most countries, and it doesn't give a number though, and I find that suspicious, it says out of the countries that have tried a wealth tax, only 5 of those countries still have one today. But he doesn't say how many tried it. I find that a little bit suspicious. But he says wealth taxes weren't widely abandoned because the governments, let me find that page here though too. It's towards the end. Whoa, didn't mean to do that. What did I do? Try that again, hun. Whoop, wrong thing. Back. Here we go. Sorry about that. Need to go to the next page. Yeah, it's towards the end there. Okay. Wealth taxes weren't widely abandoned because the government suddenly embraced free market principles. Instead, implementing the tax put reality on a collision course with the same theoretical myths now being spread in the United States. These taxes don't rake in the revenue or solve the supposed problem of inequality. For starters, wealth taxes aren't paid by rich people who reduce their consumption as a consequence. They reduce their investments, which reduces capital formation, which slows productivity and wage growth. In other words, wealth taxes may originally be paid by wealthy folks, but the economic burden falls heavily on workers. Unintended consequences. Oh, Wayne's laughing at me. I didn't even know you were in here again. Are you spying on me? Okay, next.
Spying on you again?
Yes, spying on me again.
You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians or choose to be an accountant because it's safe in a business, not because they want